to turn it over to our presenter for the day. As the face of KC SourceLink, Jenny is the secret to KC's successful entrepreneurial network. She uses her skills in collaboration, organization, and connecting people to champion resource providers and build networks. Under her guidance, the network has grown to more than 240 partners. On any given day, you'll find Jenny in the middle of organizing an event such as Global Entrepreneurship Week, discovering new resources for entrepreneurs, and researching new ways to make Kansas City America's most entrepreneurial city. So with that, please welcome Jenny Miller with Kansas City SourceLink.
All right, thank you for having me today. It's my pleasure to share lunch with the Independence Chamber and to help talk a little bit about resources for small businesses and share a little bit of what's happening in the Resource Partner Network, especially as the coronavirus pandemic is holding us all in our homes. So to kick things off, I will start with a little background on KC SourceLink in general. We are a program of UMKC that is funded through grants. So all of our programs and services are free for everyone across the Kansas City region. And our goal is to make entrepreneurship easier. So we do that through several mechanisms. Everything is available that I'll be talking about today. If you wanted to pull up the KC SourceLink website, feel free. Also, I'll go into a little bit more depth on what's happening across our Kansas City region. So kcsourcelink.com is an online portal that anyone can utilize. Through this resource, you can find the Resource Navigator, which is actually a searchable database of resources for entrepreneurs and business owners. As was mentioned, there's more than 240 programs across the Kansas City metro that are working to make small business ownership easier. They do this through offering networking events, educational programming, such as what we're going to talk about today. There's also additional one-on-one mentoring, funding, and a lot of options that anyone would need for their business as they are starting and growing, or as we are looking at right now, helping their businesses stay relevant and stay open to the community as much as we can. We also operate a classes and events calendar. So especially as you may have more time on your hands right now and you are looking for educational opportunities or even chances to network virtually with other people, those events are all on the KC SourceLink calendar. So please take advantage of those as you deem relevant. Especially as many of us are navigating uncommon waters right now. There are classes that are coming up that talk about getting your business online, communicating effectively with clients virtually, and a wide variety of things that people would need as we are and possibly looking to extend our stay-at-home orders from our local municipalities. So I'm going to now kind of switch over into resources as we are going through COVID-19 and coronavirus pandemic. KC SourceLink launched a site specifically for businesses at this time. We were seeing that a lot of businesses didn't know where information, or they were hearing a lot of information. They didn't know what resources were the best for them. They didn't know what was maybe the most valuable resources or information. So we have put all of this together in one central place, and you can all access that at kcsourceLink.com/COVID. On this website, you'll see that there are local resources that are available. We have several organizations that have stepped up and are really offering additional programming and services. We have organizations that are doing one-on-one mentoring virtually for businesses to help navigate these waters. We're also then pulling in the national and statewide resources that are available for businesses and putting them in one central place. As much as I hate to bring this up, a lot of scams are starting for businesses. So we are trying to put vetted resources here so that all business owners can utilize this. As you're hearing about new programs or new opportunities that are coming up, feel free to utilize the KC SourceLink COVID page. We are updating that on an almost daily basis, sometimes multiple times a day, with resources that are there, so that you as a business owner have a central place to go to when you are looking for the most updated information that is accurate and available for you. I mentioned we put this website up on March 15th. It's only April 15th now, so it seems like we've been doing this forever, but it has been a relatively short amount of time, but we've seen some huge impacts for businesses. KC SourceLink launched a survey on March 18th that looked at an assessment of what was happening in our small business community. We know that this is the first time a recession has been led by small businesses, and so it's new waters for all of our policymakers, kind of our decision makers. It's also then a chance to really shine the spotlight on our small businesses and on our entrepreneurs and what they're doing, and really the large impact that we collectively do have across the nation. Throughout this survey, we kept it open for a couple of weeks and saw that really our businesses were concerned with funding and financing, especially as the shutdown orders came later on the next week. Our businesses were looking at, how am I going to work on cash flows, especially those businesses that are the front lines that are having to close down. They need people coming in their doors in order to continue their business. And without those incoming revenues, how are they going to increase their runway on cash flow? How are they going to ensure that they're able to support their employees? As many of you know, our small business employees are a lot of times like our family. So when you have to make hard decisions as a business owner, you know that that's directly affecting your employees and their families, who most of the time you have a personal relationship with. So through the funding and financing, we were able to then look at some direct benefits that were coming from federal and local levels, but also looking at what are some things as a small business owner you can begin doing right now. So again, this website is kcsourcelink.com/COVID financing. If you're all online right now, but feel free to navigate to that website and start looking through that. We try to pull in videos. We know we have all different learners out there, so we pulled in videos that will walk people through what are some options right now. How do you access these funds? What is best for you and your specific situation? So we turned it into more of a funding and financing portal for our businesses that offers how-to videos. It offers informational links. It links people out to the applications that maybe you need. It also does a lot of information for our businesses. So through this portal, you can see how do I increase my cash runway? How do I look at cash flow right now? Maybe the businesses that you're working with, or even you yourself, are hearing about different programs and you don't know if this is a right fit for you. So you can utilize this information to see if the programs you're hearing about are a right fit. Honestly, we have a lot of programs right now that are coming in and funds are going out of those programs so quick that applications are closing. So we're updating this portal with the most updated information so that you can make the decisions that are best for your business right now. Also, we wanted to take this a step further for businesses. So on this page, there's a blue button that says, help my business find funding. So a business owner can go online and put in a little bit of information about your business and kind of the type of financing that you're looking for, how much you're looking for, what you want to use those funds for. And we can send back an email that will have, here are some options that are open for you right now, and give you additional information and resources that you can utilize to see if that would be a good funding option for your business. Again, this is all free. It's open for the small business community. And we're here as a resource to help businesses as much as we can right now. Also, if you're a small business owner and you're looking for information, or you just want to talk to somebody about your business, we are operating a hotline that is answered by a real person, which is something that a lot of businesses are looking for right now. And that hotline number is 816-235-6500. So again, I'll type that out in the chat here. If you are looking to talk to somebody about your business, about kind of what you're hearing, or even we're seeing a small businesses, they're hearing about options and they're not sure if this is a viable option for them, feel free to give us a call, and we're happy to share any information that we know and to help walk through that. And I see questions. I'm going to try and address these questions as they're coming through the chat. Again, there's a lot of directions that businesses can go. KC SourceLink is that central access point for people. So feel free to go to kcsourcelink.com and look at what all of these options are. We know that small businesses have so much information coming at them right now. You have so many decisions that need to be made. And so we have set up a centralized information portal for your businesses. You can walk through. Sorry, I was trying to navigate on this as I was talking through this piece of it. The coronavirus pandemic is something that we have not dealt with before, and we know that our businesses have not dealt with this before, nor any disaster such as this. So we want to make sure that the most relevant information is available for businesses. It gives you a chance to go online into that centralized point and see what is going on. It gives you a chance to ask questions. You can pick up the phone and call and talk to KC SourceLink. You can also then send us an email if you're more comfortable doing that. Or again, fill out the Help My Business Find Funding if that's something that you're looking for. As we are seeing a lot of businesses, and I know there are some bankers on the phone right now, talking about some of your national funding sources and looking at SBA disaster relief, especially through the EIDL program and the PPP program. We're hearing a lot of businesses that are confused. They maybe don't know what these mean or if it is right for them. So you can go online. We have put in comparison charts for businesses so that you can look and see what is the difference between these programs. Even is this something that me, maybe as a sole proprietor, should look into? Is this available? A lot of times we hear of these programs that small businesses should be taking advantage of, but they don't know if it is a right fit for them or where they should go for that information. So KC SourceLink is here to help you navigate those waters. We have tried to put as much information online as possible, but again, it's very confusing. We understand that and we realize that, so we are here to answer your questions in real time so that you can make these decisions and move forward with your business. And that is all available at kcsourcelink.com/COVID financing, especially if you're looking for the breakdown of these programs and what they mean. We also know that even the terms that people are asking for what is a break-even analysis? How do I do a cash flow projection? All of those terms we have put into a glossary for businesses. So if you're confused about what these terms mean or how you can find that information, we have put that up online as well to help navigate those waters. We're hearing from a lot of our businesses that they're in a waiting game right now. We understand that, and we know that, yes, that is where we're sitting right now. However, we want to give you options on what to focus on moving forward. So again, have updated the online calendar of events to help you find those things. So if you are looking for marketing assistance with your business, there are classes to help you with that. If you are looking for how to manage your teams remotely, there are educational opportunities and classes for that as well. We know that not all businesses are ripe to be taking out loans right now. So we're looking to put resources in your hands to help with some of those cash flow needs right now so that you can move forward with your businesses. So there's a great question on the chat right now. If you are looking for lenders that can do the PPP, the SBA has set up a website that has the approved lenders. So you can find that through the KC SourceLink website. And it allows you to put in your zip code, and then it tells you which banks or which lending institutions in our area are working with the PPP loans. So we always recommend that if you have a banking relationship right now, please reach out to your current banker, to your current lender for help through this process. If you do not have a current lender right now, there is this portal that is set up to help you find lenders that will help you go through this. There are also free resources available to help businesses with their paperwork and with their applications prior. You have the Small Business Development Center that is working across the state of Missouri. So in the Kansas City region, UMKC has counselors that can virtually mentor you. There's also the Women's Business Center. These organizations actually have daily phone calls with SBA administration so that they are up to date with the most current guidelines as they are rolling out through the SBA, and can then work with the business owners in order to get your paperwork in process, in order to walk you through what to expect and what you need so that you can match up with a lender for a PPP, or you can go through the SBA online site for the EIDL loans. So, and on here, many are either not taking any more apps or only existing clients. That is true based on what we have heard. So again, work with your current banker. If businesses on this call are interested in the PPP, but you don't have a current lending relationship, Justine Peterson is a microlender across the state of Missouri that is also working with clients that don't have a current lending relationship in order to access some of those PPP funds. Looking at more local sources of disaster funding or grants on the regional level, there was a small business relief fund for Kansas City specifically that was launched the top of April. That specific fund saw more than 600 applications come through within the first 48 hours. So at this time, they are not accepting local application or any more applications. However, they are putting those funds out into the marketplace. We have seen those loans come through already. As far as grants, I have not seen or heard any local grants for businesses. There are some opportunities. GoFundMe is setting up, it's more on a national landscape, but there is an opportunity through GoFundMe. Facebook is doing some grants, and then we have seen some grant opportunities through Google. There is also small business relief efforts that are looking at those that would be considered unbankable, so those that aren't able to access the PPP or the EIDL. We're also seeing some policy coming out that's looking at those businesses that aren't able to access the funds that are currently set up. The Federal Reserve Bank, if you guys are following kind of what's happening on the national level, has released additional funds that will be loan funds that will be going through FDIC insured institutions. So there are more opportunities that we're seeing coming. We're waiting on some more guidelines as those are coming out in order to get that information into the hands of businesses. And looking at questions here, did surveys or curious or unexpected effects from COVID? So interestingly enough, when we're looking at businesses, and I've talked about the KC SourceLink hotline to help talk about the numbers that we're seeing coming through the hotline for KC SourceLink. Right now, we're working with right around 700 businesses each week. So we're talking with quite a few businesses, and when we're looking at unexpected effects of coronavirus and COVID-19, we are seeing that a lot of businesses are banding together. We're hearing of a business in one area that needs to lay off, but that another business in that same area can maybe take on some of those additional employees. We're also looking at a shift in businesses. So looking at they can maybe supply some of the PPE equipment that people need. And so they are looking to manufacture this equipment instead of the equipment that they had, so that they can keep their employees employed, so that they can keep supplying the most relevant equipment that is needed right now. We're also seeing a lot of businesses are able to pivot quickly. We have heard from business owners that we've wanted to get online. This was in our works. This is what we wanted to do, but we didn't have time to do it. So now they're able to move online very quickly. They're able to navigate those waters, and then they will able to maintain those online sales after we open back up. So we're watching the business community shift during this time of crisis, and then be able to maintain some of those shifts as we come out of crisis and be more effective in their business models and in their delivery for their customers and their clients. A question was on here of walking through some of the key findings from the survey. Again, this survey was open for 2 weeks from March 18th through April 2nd. And so when we're looking at this survey, 70% of the small business owners that were surveyed were looking for funding and financial assistance. We also saw that about 56% of our small businesses were looking for tax relief and tax incentives. So we were able to work with our decision makers or policy makers to share that data and that information. We also saw that a lot of our small businesses are quite small. So we're on average, they had 36 employees per business. So we're looking at an employee number that is smaller than a lot of what our national institutions classify as small business. So when we are able to look at the sole proprietor, your independent contractor, and your gig workers, being able to access some of the funding programs that they would not be able to traditionally access, That's been very interesting to watch, and being able to support these business owners on a different level than they haven't been supported previously. We're also able to look at the throughout that survey, and the survey itself and the data from that survey is also available for online through the KC SourceLink website. So if you want to look at that and dig further into it, please do. We were looking at these businesses kind of taking a shift over the course of this survey, and kind of through the KC SourceLink hotline as well. For the first 2 weeks of March, things were running smoothly. They were as we would expect, as it was in previous years. The third week of March, which is when we really started to see some concern with COVID-19 in the Kansas City market, we watched the shift in our businesses looking at, I'm now interested in marketing sales. How do I make sure that my customers know who I am, what I'm doing? How do I look at getting the market share for my business? As we hit the last 2 weeks of March, 74% of the incoming requests for KC SourceLink were for funding and financial assistance. Throughout the next week, we really saw the resiliency in our entrepreneurs and our small businesses. We have seen kind of that aha moment of, okay, I am going to be okay. The shell shock is a little worn off. People have gotten their feet back under them and they're ready to move forward. And as we see for most small businesses, they're ready to take on that next challenge and move forward with that. So we're working to make sure that those resources are here for those businesses as they are moving forward. I heard some of the Independence Chamber talking about some of your shop local efforts. We're seeing a lot of those happen across the Kansas City metro, and those are key for our small business community. We're also then seeing a lot of businesses be more supportive of one another. So taking part in chamber events and really relying on that network of people that maybe you knew of before but you weren't using. We're seeing a shift in our small business community and really stepping forward to help out with some of that as well. Are there other questions from anyone on the line?
Any more questions for Jenny? All right, Jenny, boy, I went out to the website while you were talking, and those COVID-19 resources will be so helpful to me as a banker, directing my clients and folks calling in. So I really appreciate that. Just a quick glance at it, it's really helpful. And I've used KC SourceLink in the past. Xander, I know that you work quite a bit with KC SourceLink and sending some of your clients there. Can you talk about that a little bit and how that process works?
Oh, absolutely. Because I tell folks all the time that the Innovation Center could not do what it does without all the other resources that we can rely on. So having KC SourceLink, having that network of experts and resources that we can also leverage to help our folks be as successful as possible, and especially right now. Definitely, like, they were on top of it. Like, as soon as things, you know, we woke up one day and it was all different, and Jenny's like, don't worry, we got a page for that. We've got this information. We're gonna have, you know, some regular meetings on how this is all changing. So I have always appreciated them, and I don't know if it's possible, but maybe even more so now with all the work that they are doing. Jenny, I did have a follow-up question that I like halfway typed, and I thought maybe I'll just say it. But kind of following up with what you were saying on how businesses are working together, where is that happening? Are there groups that are developing that are particular worth mentioning, that, you know, hey, this is a new Facebook group that exists, or this is a new resource specifically for that, because that's new. That resource wouldn't have existed necessarily before. And two, maybe to tag on to that, how might a chamber? What examples have you seen of business groups facilitating that really well now, that those now, I guess, kind of more virtual online collisions, where folks can, like you're saying, if they're laying off employees, somebody else, resources, sharing that. Anybody doing that particularly well, or groups that you would point us to?
So as far as information dissemination, actually the US Chamber is sharing down information that is digestible and very easy for other chambers to share out. There are Facebook pages that I have seen throughout social media, especially when it comes to business owners wanting to talk with other business owners about what they're experiencing with applications for federal financing. I have seen a lot of businesses that are willing and able to share more about their businesses and their specific situation than I have seen in the past. And again, these are Facebook pages, groups that you can join if you're interested in doing that. They're asking each other questions. They're helping out as much as they can from a business to business perspective, which is interesting to see and is not something that I have seen before. Again, especially as it relates to finances for small businesses. We're also seeing big business support small business in a way that we haven't seen before. So we're looking at, I mentioned the Small Business Relief Fund, specifically looking to put money into the hands of small businesses. We saw several large corporations donating to that fund in order to get additional dollars into small business hands, especially those that would not be able to access the SBA funding that was coming down. We are also seeing layoffs from our larger businesses, and those employees are reaching out to see how they can help the small business community, which is something we haven't seen a lot of that crossover before, which is nice to see as well. On a kind of a local micro level, we're seeing a lot of Takeout Tuesday type of events. We're seeing a lot of chambers that are really stepping up to support their members. You guys talked about the Foodie Friday for Independence Chamber. South Kansas City Chamber of Commerce is doing gift cards for their members. There's Bonner Springs Edwardsville is doing a bingo game, actually for the whole community, not just for members. So that was nice to see. One of the most inclusive bingo games I've seen is actually coming out of Des Moines, Iowa. So it has gotten to be huge, and it's a way to support businesses and get more people involved in that. We are also seeing, I mentioned kind of the big business side of it. So those larger entities that would normally be seen as a service provider for small businesses are offering their services for free. We have several law firms across Kansas City that are offering legal counsel during this time for businesses. And you can learn more about those through our website as well. We're also seeing entities that are supporting local businesses right now when normally they would be going through a big RFP process. So that has been interesting to watch. I feel like that was a lot of smaller examples, but is that what you were looking for, Xander?
Absolutely, yeah. Because I know with everything going on right now, it's just kind of like you're feeling your way through the dark. So what I was kind of looking for is when somebody, and we've gotten this question before, we're seeing these stories of folks working really well together. And we've gotten the question, where do I go to get into that? And right now there's not that, it's still kind of all over the place because of how quickly things have changed. So I was just kind of curious from your perspective, like, what would you say to a business who says, hey, I've got these resources sitting around that aren't going to do anything, who can use them? Or I've got employees that need extra hours, you know, is there somebody that needs that skill set? And I think that answered it perfectly where we're at right now, and kind of gives us a better idea of maybe how we can tap into that or help that conversation and help those connections. So thank you.
Yeah. Yeah.
And Jenny, I see that other question down there. How can we start to prepare our business communities for recovery?
So,
any advice on that?
Yep. And so we're looking a lot kind of across the nation. SourceLink we have affiliates all across the nation. So we actually get together as well and look at what's happening and what can we utilize from other disasters that would be relevant right now. So specifically looking at the tornado that was in Joplin a few years ago, looking at floods that had been in Iowa and now in Nebraska, and how can we utilize those best practices to prepare our businesses for the future. Something that is very different that our businesses need to start preparing for right now is it's not going to be an all of a sudden wake up and it's business back to normal. Even as we start to look at opening our businesses again, it's going to be a slow process, and we're going to have to educate our consumers on the precautions that we as business owners are taking so that they feel safe coming back out and to starting to kind of operate in an open world again. We're also looking at when things start to open up, it's going to be kind of a flood for our small businesses, and they're going to have a lot of business all at once. And so how do we prepare them to have their staff on ready to handle that? How do they make sure they have their products and services there so that they can be relevant when that happens? In order to help prep for that, we're recommending that our businesses don't take this as a hit for your business right now. And that's probably not the right term right there. But what can you be doing right now to set your business up for success when recovery starts? So let's take a deep dive look at your marketing plan. Who is your target market? Where are they? How are they going to reach them? What are you doing right now to make sure that market is ready to shop with you when they're ready? And that's for service-based business as well as product-based businesses. Also looking at what education can you get for your employees right now so that they are better suited for recovery. And this looks at personal education for your employees as well as the education that they might need for your business as you launch forward with this. We're also looking at a lot of long-term effects with our businesses. So we're seeing shutdowns right now, but what does this mean for our supply chain in the next 18 months? So trying to set businesses up for some of those things that maybe we're not thinking of right now.
Great. Well, any other questions for Jenny before we wrap things up? All right. Well, thank you so much, Jenny, for being part of it today. And I can't get used to my face being up there like that. And just remember, Foodie Friday at Big Boys. Tomorrow's HR 101, HR resource meeting has been postponed. So look for that to come in the future. And, next Thursday, Trina, you want to talk about the business after hours, or someone else on the call here, and talk about what we can bring to next Thursday's after hours? Anyone?
I think Michaeline or Jody should talk on that since they were the ones that got that one going.
Jody,
yeah.
where are you at?
Oh, go ahead. If Jody's probably got a lot of information too, but next Thursday, we are having a business after hours starting at 4:30, and you're welcome to bring your pet. We invite you to bring your pet. You know, bring a cocktail if you want, introduce us to your pet. And we're just going to talk about, you know, the challenges that we've all been experiencing working remotely, and how our pets probably are affected by that as well.
Kind of like how your pets maybe made your day better or harder, or whichever way it goes.
Yeah, I don't know if you saw, my dog barked and it startles me. And anyways, I hope nobody got too much of a laugh there about 30 minutes ago, but thanks guys. Anything else for the chamber? Any other announcements? Okay, well, thanks everybody for joining us at our luncheon, and we hope to see you at some upcoming events. Thanks guys, bye.